on the 14th of Kislev, Yud Dalet Kislev, marks the Hilula of a great Syrian rabbi. His name was Rabbi Avraham Sethon Z'tl Livracha. It was the head of the Jewish court over there, one of the head rabbanim in the city of Aleppo in Halab, naturally in Syria, which at that point in time had a great rabbinic community, and he was one of the, let's just say, one of the head rabbis and was part of a rabbinic family of the Sethon dynasty, rabbinic dynasty in of itself. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born, I believe, around the time period of 1735 and came from great rabbinic heritage. His father's name was Rabbi Shlomo Sethon, and while he was young, he would learn under the auspices of another great rabbi, Rabbi Yitzchak Bracha, who happened to be, I think, the author of the Torah colossal work called the Be'er Yitzchak, very great Torah work in itself, and from him he would learn the, let's say, expertise of learning people in-depth analytic Torah study, especially in halacha, in Jewish law in of itself. Afterwards, I would believe he would continue learning Torah to the highest level in of itself, and at the same time he was working in a profession on a weekly basis. He had was making also had, I think it was very common at a kind of time period. Some people would learn Torah full time, some people also worked. So he reportedly worked 1 day a week and was learning Torah throughout the rest of the week in of itself. And he succeeded as very much so in his business activities and became, I believe, wealthy. It was reported over because of this. And I think at one stage in time, later on, he would abandon, let's just say, or freeze the spending so much time or not so much time, a specific amount of time within regards to trade and everything else, and devoted his entire time to Torah study until the time he passed away, which is very, very interesting enough. He was a very great rabbi, very learned, and really he was great within wisdom, like through the whole spheres within regards to Torah, and applied it in many other places in of itself. He grew up to become great in Torah, and he was also proficient in astronomy, also in arithmetic. He knew like very much a lot within regards to composing different songs and poems, which would be really expected and respected by the throngs of the public, especially in Syria, especially at that point in time. Piyutim, Zmirot, celebration in of itself, using the poetry and the Torah in of itself was very, very much great at that point in time. So he would be appointed part of the Bet Din and served as a Dayan, as a judge in the Bet Din of Aram Tzova community under the auspices of another great rabbi who was spoken about, I believe, on various occasions before, Rabbi Yitzchak Harari. And I think there was other great rabbanim working with them, including Rabbi Eliyahu Shema Halevi, who he himself happened to be a very, very great rabbi in of itself. Also Rabbi Yisrael Sasson, another great rabbi. And then shortly afterwards, I think Rabbi Harari would actually move to the land of Israel. He would be appointed under Rabbi Eliyahu Shama, if I'm not mistaken, in of itself. This was a very, very prominent position in of itself. So, and then Rabbi Sethon would eventually be appointed to serve as a chief rabbi of Aram Tzova until the time he passed away. Now, he passed away on Yud Dalet Kislev, I believe in English year, 1816. It was approximately around that specific time period, or 1815, I heard from another place in of itself. And many of the great rabbis had the highest compliments and the highest words to say within regards to the great Chacham. I believe after him, Rabbi Avraham Antebi served as the city's chief rabbi, and which was very prestigious also for Rabbi Avraham Antebi. I believe we've spoken about before, and happened to also be a poet, a Kabbalist, and a Dayan in Syria. And also there was the famous Rabbi Yitzchak Atiyah, who we've mentioned about before, who was a Talmudic author and a Torah commentator in the head of yeshiva in Aleppo. Very much. Okay, let's explore some of the great books which he actually composed. We see many great Torah works, including Malel Abraham, which was a sefer within regards to different drashot in of itself, which was public drashot he made. A very, very great book. And I believe various other rabbis would actually speak within regards to this, included, I think, I think it was a sermon book in of itself, obituaries on his passing. That's just included from the Chida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azra, Rabbi Yom Tov Al-Ghazi, Rabbi Chaim Atia. They spoke within regards to him at the highest esteem. There was other great rabbanim that gave their drashot, Rabbi Raphael Shlomo Laniado, another great Syrian rabbi, Rabbi Yehuda Katzin, and various other great rabbis. And there was a Dali, but Pesika, which was Sheilot and Shuvot, questions and answers on Choshen Mishpat, the part of the Shulchan Aruch in of itself. This was, I think, the great rabbis of his generation also. Then there was a Malil Avraham also, which was also Sheilot Shuvot on the 4 sections of Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, that was actually published or produced by the publishing house of the Ahavat Shalom in Tafshin Ayin Vav. I think it was on subjects with regards to the great rabbis of his city in of itself. I think especially Rabbi Eliyahu Shema Halevi, Rabbi Ephraim Laniado, once again Rabbi Moshe Sfaid, who we spoke about, Rabbi Abraham and Tevi, and many great other rabbis in of itself. So these were many books that his teachings, let's just say, and his wisdom had very much part of in the various different occasions. It's Yud Daled Kislev, the 14th of Kislev, marks the great Rabbi's Hilula. Please don't forget to light candles in the great Rabbi's memory. And friends, we are a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Please subscribe to the channel now, like the video, share the videos. If you happen to be related to any of these great rabbis over here, please send me an email, let me know information about them, and I'd love to hear more. So wishing you well, wishing you blessings from Israel, and please watch over all the previous videos. So wishing you well on this specific day, and take care.